Hey everybody, welcome to Metals on the Move. My name is Gareth 𝗖𝗽𝗶𝘁 from VerifiedInvesting.com. So today I want to look at some charts. We have some big moves occurring in the commodity sector. Let's jump right into it right here. Now the reason I'm starting with the copper chart is because the copper chart potentially is breaking down. Now you might say, wait a minute, yesterday we had Jerome Powell talking about how strong the economy was going to be for the foreseeable future. Why is copper breaking down? And the answer is very simple. Basically what's going on is that they're going to keep rates higher for longer, and the metal itself, copper, is insinuating or hypothesizing that it's going to cause a recession. So remember, the metal itself, charts generally lead the market by 6 to 12 months. So a breakdown in copper here is telling us that we likely could see a recession in 6 to 12 months because the Fed is going to keep rates higher for longer. So if we just look at the chart here, guys, keeping it super simple, we know that we have this range. This is called a wedge pattern. And the wedge pattern, again, goes all the way down here. And then if we look at the lows, and this even goes back further, but we'll just focus on these lows, we have a very clear potential breakdown right there. Now, I say potential because it's possible we bounced off the lows of the tail. We could come back inside of that range, but I think at least that it's likely we will see a break lower in copper. So generally, I would expect copper to go lower. And again, that will lead us into or tell us that we're heading into a recession. If we go to the bigger chart on copper, you can see how big of a wedge pattern that is. Now let's flip over to gold. Gold here, to me, is pulling back, and you can see it's a very clear pullback on the daily chart. This is the daily chart of gold, but I continue to look at the bigger time frame. And if we zoom out here, this is just one of those amazing charts. Every part of the chart is bullish, the short term, the midterm, and the long term. So let's start with the short term. The short term here is this pattern here. And again, anytime you have a big move up like this, right, big move up, and basically what we're now doing is consolidating. That is bullish consolidation. Again, chart-wise, we have a big move up, and then what you do is you go like this, and that's bullish digestion. It's essentially the digestion of buyers and sellers, and as long as it stays in the upper range, it's considered bullish, and 7 out of 10 times you make a move to the upside like that. Okay, so again, just something to keep in mind there as we go through. So this shorter term chart is bullish. You can see today we're getting a pullback because the dollar again and the Fed commentary. But notice this little trend line, this area right here around 1910-ish. That's going to be key support. And then the question is this line here, can we break out above it and head back to the all-time highs on gold? Now, like I said, this is a short-term chart, but if we zoom out on this chart, let's talk about the bigger time frame. All right, the bigger time frame has the very similar chart analysis to it. So, and this is fascinating, folks. You'll see this real quick. But basically what we have here is this big move up, and then all of this is sideways consolidation. Now, remember the pattern I just showed you on the shorter time frame. This move up, all of this is consolidation. So it's a micro bullish pattern within a macro bullish pattern that again tells me eventually gold will break out. And again, when I say will, it doesn't guarantee it, let's be fair, but it's probabilities. Charts give you a probability. So probabilities dictate that we should have a breakout on this chart. All right, let's jump over here, guys, real quick to look over silver. And the silver chart, very simply put, is putting in this pattern right here. It is a bullish pattern as well, which makes sense. Commodities are generally going to trade kind of the same way, right? At least gold and silver. Now, copper is strictly more of an industrial metal, right? A growth metal. But silver and gold obviously have the sort of safety side to them. Here you have a very clear move up here on the charts. And again, if we take a look at that, that's that same up move, same consolidation. Eventually, that should lead to the upside. The other thing that I think is fascinating here is for those of you that don't know, there's something called an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And I'm going to erase these trend lines on the chart so we kind of clarify the chart here. But what I want to show you here is an inverse head and shoulders that I'm just scoping out now. Now again, inverse head and shoulders, let's talk about that briefly. Inverse head and shoulder is a down move, then a bigger down move, and a smaller one. And essentially when you break the neckline here, that's your breakout. Notice this is a shoulder, this is a head, this is a shoulder. Okay, so it's an inverse. Think about an upside down person. A head and shoulders, which is bearish, would be this, with this, with this, and you see shoulder, head, shoulder, and then the breakdown would occur here. Now, the reason why I bring this to your attention, this is your bullish pattern, and what we can see here is really, if you look at this chart, we have this, right? And then we have this. And so to me, that looks like an inverse head and shoulder. And ultimately, in my opinion, what's going to happen here is you have a trend line right here. This is your neckline. Haven't broken out yet, but basically if we get above $25.50, you're breaking out and you likely will go test 30 and potentially higher on the silver chart. So in any case, let's flip back here to the main screen. My point here is my goal is to deliver you good, solid, probability-based technical analysis. I do this at verifiedinvesting.com. I also have inthemoneystocks.com as well. And my encouragement is continue to learn, educate yourself. Don't follow emotion. Follow structure, follow data, and follow technical charts. That is the way to make money, and that is the way to not get emotional and make the wrong decision. So here you are here. My name again, Gareth 𝗖𝗽𝗁𝘂𝘀𝘁. Thank you so much for joining us on Metals on the Move. You guys take care.